This is part 3 of our lesson on finding angles using the sine, cos, and tan ratio. So our question says solve for x in each of the following, and we have a right angle triangle. I can tell because of that square in the corner, where I know 2 of the side lengths and I want to find one of the angles. So the first thing you should do is start by labeling your sides. I know that I'm not going to use Pythagorean theorem because that only works for side lengths and we're trying to find an angle. So I'm going to start by labeling the hypotenuse, the opposite, and the adjacent. The hypotenuse is always across from the 90 degrees. It is the longest side in your triangle. And then to do the other 2 sides, you need to find the angle in the question that you're either solving for or that you know, and that would be this angle here. So across from that one is my opposite, and the other side is the adjacent. Adjacent means beside, so it's the one beside the angle. From here, I'm going to take a look and see which of those sides am I not interested in using. So I look for one that I don't know anything about, and that in this case would be the hypotenuse. It's not labeled, there's no information. So I'm going to cross out the hypotenuse, and we are going to use the adjacent and the opposite sides. So to help me pick a ratio, I use SOHCAHTOA. We are looking for A, the adjacent, and O, the opposite. So I'm looking for something that has an A and an O. So this is OH, this is AH, there's my A and my O, which means we are going to be using the tangent ratio. So tan of angle A is O, opposite, divided by A, adjacent. Now we're going to sub in the information from our triangle. So I have tan of angle A, that's going to be the x, that's the angle that we've got, is opposite 15, divided by adjacent, which is 8. So x is not part of the fraction, so cross multiplying is not going to be part of my solution here. What I want to do instead is, because the x is with the tan, I want to find a way to get rid of the tan. And in order to get rid of the tan, we do the opposite of tan, which is the inverse tan. So I'm going to do the inverse tan of both sides. So I get that x equals the inverse tan of 15 divided by 8. That bracket is important because it shows that the 15 and the 8 are part of what's being inverse tanned. So on my calculator, like I've said before, if you have a calculator where you see what you type in on the screen, you should just punch in shift tan bracket 15 divided by 8 and then equals. On my calculator, I don't see that, so I have to start with the 15 over 8. So I do 15 divided by 8. I want to hit equals to figure out what that is, and then second and tan. You'll notice after we do second tan, we don't hit equals again. We just take that answer. So this is 61 point. Now I want 2 decimal places. That's what it asked for in the question. That would give me 9.2. I look at the next number. It's a 7, so that's going to push that up to 9.3. So it is 61.93. In this question, the sides were in millimeters, but this is an angle, so it should be degrees. So our angle is 61.93 degrees. And that is all you need to know for today about how to solve for an angle using the sine, cos, and tan ratios.